The wilderness within you, the 34th day of Lent, the Monday of week 6. We have several Bible readings, first from Philippians 4, verse 4, the New Revised Standard Version. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again I will say, rejoice. From 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 7, the King James Version. Every man according as he purposeth in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. Then from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 16 to 18, from the New International Version. When you fast, do not look sombre as the hypocrites do, for they disfigure their faces to show others they are fasting. Truly, I tell you, they receive their reward in full. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it will not be obvious to others that you're fasting, but only to your Father, who is unseen. And your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. From the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 43 to 48, the Good News translation. You've heard that it was said, love your friends and hate your enemies. But now I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may become the children of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun to shine on bad and good people alike, and gives rain to those who do good and to those who do evil. Why should God reward you if you love only the people who love you? Even the tax collectors do that. And if you speak only to your friends, have you done anything out of the ordinary? Even the pagans do that. You must be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. The way I see it is, there's no point in trying to look cheerful. You know what's in my heart anyway. Why bother? Jesus says nothing to this, but, well, flawless logic, innit? I push my hands deeper into my pockets and wish I'd remembered my gloves. Or I wish I lived in Florida or Australia. California would be nice. Anywhere warmer than England, with the wind blowing strong from the east on the coast in the middle of March. You can't beat this cold drear for misery. This has been a bad week. Muddle and miscommunication, things taking forever to do that should have been easy. I feel snarky and out of sorts. So we walk along, and I can't help noticing the silence of Jesus sounds particularly loud. What? I stop and look at him. What? He looks back. One of the most underrated and beautiful disciplines in the kingdom of heaven, he says, is cheerfulness. This comment he makes with a little grin, kind of half apologetic. Oh, thanks, I snap at him. That's just what I need to hear. I know this anyway. Of course I do. I know that happiness is not something that happens to you. It's something you choose and practice deliberately. I know happiness is not a destination, a distant goal. It's the path you travel, the way of walking, the direction of the journey that means the destination takes care of itself. I know how good those people make me feel who always have a smile and a kind word, find something encouraging and friendly to say every time. I know that cheerfulness is a facet of forgiveness sometimes, a gentle touch of love, smoothing over misunderstandings and altercations of the past. It's just, today, I'm not in the mood. Of course, the whole point of any kind of discipline is exactly that, doing it when you're not in the mood. If you're only kind and friendly when things are going well, what's the use of that? If you're only nice to the people you like and cold shoulder everybody else, how does that build the kingdom? I know that perfectly well. But sometimes a person just needs some space. Sometimes you don't feel ready for any kind of interaction. Sometimes you're just plain grumpy, and that's how it is, and it takes a little while to come round from it, and what's wrong with that? Can't I just tell it like it is, from time to time? I hunch deeper into my coat, glowering at the greyness of the day. I feel backed into a corner and resentful. One of the most underrated and beautiful disciplines in the kingdom of heaven is cheerfulness. Oh, thanks. We have covered about half a mile while all this churns around in my gut and ties itself in knots in my head. I feel completely hopeless now, despondent and belligerent. All this while, Jesus says nothing. He just goes on walking beside me. And eventually it dawns on me, this is really stupid. How to squander an opportunity, how to waste a morning. I realise that every moment is a choice. Each passing minute offers a doorway to who I could be. Turning a whole day around is just one step away. So I stop. He stops. I turn to look at him. I take a deep breath. I'm sorry, I say. He grins at me and gives me a hug. Jesus hugs me. Imagine that.